I just laugh because they don't hold any weight with me. Even paperweight, they don't hold it with me. I want to look behind whatever they are saying to find out the facts. So when they say these kind of things, whoever is their followers and take whatever they say in that kind of in the public space with seriousness, I think that person too is not serious. And so these kind of people are not the people that should be used as spokespeople for whichever
political party they belong.
No, they shouldn't be used because whatever they say, people don't take them seriously anymore. And so these are the kind of things I believe we should be looking at. And the police should not be biased in this case. If there's anybody, no matter what status you've attained, if you happen to say what you're not supposed to say in public space and you do whatever you're not supposed to do in public space, handle them properly and professionally too. So that people will see that, yes, and that's why when the police was saying now that go and caution your supporters, they're not talking about the riffraff supporters alone. They're talking of even the high place supporters too, who may be using their clout to say anything that they're not supposed to say. So if the police can go the whole hog and prove that they are law enforcement against the real sense of it, I think the public space will be saner for it.
Larry, you were about talking about which is just the patriotism, professionalism of the police. You see the police force having the tendency to enforce the electoral laws as they lead to violence.
Yes, the police have the capacity and the wherewithal to do that for elections. However, there are situations
pre-election now.
Now there are situations where
don't forget, campaign starts next month,
September. So that's what I'm saying, that the campaigns have not started and we are seeing all of this.
Okay.
And so I know the police authorities would understand that the people want some level of trust from them, especially in a situation where we've had leaders who are more like in the so-called ruling parties. It could be any party when it comes to state elections, and when it's national, the ruling national party. That they want to make believe that the police will genuflect towards their side. As the chief security officer in the state that is PDP governed, they want to believe that the police will, to a large extent, play ball with them. And the opposition will have that at the back of their mind. So even when the police is asking them a question, they want to be sure you are asking the other parties the same question. So that's where that level of trust comes in. Now it's a general warning that they are giving everybody, warn your supporters. But people want to see it as across board and not targeting specific parties and individuals. And the issue of Dino and Keyamo, that is the kind of politics we found ourselves in. And strangely, you see, history repeats itself, and when it does, it's annoying at times. Self-same Keyamo is the campaign person for APC. He himself, almost immediately, people had said, you had actually questioned the principle in this your election in the past about 1, 2, 3, 4 things. These are people that want traction and cruise. And so, you have the problem. If they know it's a celebrated case, I'll take up your case. I may not even take any money. These are the kind of things that people do to get professional traction. And he's in the limelight now. And so, the first thing he said was like, you said you cannot even change policies of the current administration for the better. It's not perfect. So at least even if you are the spokesperson of that party, you should have said, okay, the party will sit down, they will look at what is wrong and correct, but you are saying, no, we can't change. And people are, why must you start with that? And the other side, just forget, is clownish, and I wonder why they chose him. They have better people who can do that job, because ordinarily he has taken that role beyond what one would have expected. Okay. His party is childish.
Let's look at the Osun Ekiti election. the role of police. We have seen police CP that have called bluff, who doesn't mind which political party was my president about, and we have seen successful election and little violence.
You see, the Osun and Ekiti elections, let me tell you one thing. If the police had gone the whole hog to do what it had to do, probably Osun election would have been better than what it was.
But we didn't record violence. There was no recorded violence. It's only in Ekiti and Osun.
No. We are talking about violence in terms of cowing violence, in terms of crushing violence. Okay? That was crushing violence. Not actually doing things that will make you not have violence at all. In the first instance. It's when you think the violence will happen that you not crush it. Now let me tell you, in Ekiti, there was a reported case in the news that some civil defense men went to where some people had money that they wanted to distribute to voters. They collected the money and made away with that money. What could have caused violence more than that? What could have caused that more than that? And till today, you have not heard of whether they were caught or prosecuted at all. And still in the public space, you have had cases of where policemen were even sharing money. So what are we talking about? These are the kind of things that would have been nipped in the bud. It's just like you are talking about violence in this country. You are talking about kidnapping. When you have cases of where policemen even take a ransom to the bandits, or act as going between the bandits and the victims. So these are the kind of things that we should not even allow to happen at all. I think the police should walk their talk now.
Okay. Larry, we will soon go to the second topic, but let me, this saying, no Nigerians life worth losing because of election or winning, and findings has just shown that in the last few months, 27 persons were killed in about some separate incidents last when campaign has not even started.
Related to election.
Electoral violence.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it won't be wiped off in one day. It's unfortunate lives were lost, but we have not still left that culture of violence. There's a culture of violence, and the first thing that comes to the mind of people is that violence at times works. You want to rattle your opponent and you think he's getting an edge over you, you introduce an element of violence and people will run away and not come out to vote. It's going to work to the advantage of whoever has the brute force that is higher. If Party A is strong in the community and Party B is strong with its violent groups, it can upturn the popularity of Party A. And that's not allowing the true reflection of political strength. So, in a nutshell, people use violence to gain prominence where they are less popular. However, where the people are resolute, those violent elements will be dwarfed. Resolute in like, will face you. But at that point, then you will know that the level of strength and commitment of those people is far over and above. But where there is a 40-60 thing, that 40% people can use violence to ward up the 20% and they won't come out. Because as a gentleman, you really want to go and cast your ballot, and you know on the way there is violence, you won't come out. Some months to election, you hear that some supporters of a particular party were kidnapped or killed in their homes in cold blood. Most people would not want to say, it has happened to so and so person, and nobody has defended them or protected them from attacks.
Or even prosecuted.
And nobody was prosecuted for it. So why should I risk my life? We are not going anywhere to vote. And that reduces the... So at most instances, you will discover that the rate of people coming out to participate in election is determined largely by the amount of control on violence or the prosecution of violence before election.
Well,
So you see 1 million people are supposed to vote in a particular state, and 300 only came out for that election. Build up to that election, violence has done some things in some quarters. The police should help us control that, so more people will have confidence in that process and want to come out and make it happen.
well, shall we go to the second topic? As I'm starting from you. Economic crisis. And the World Bank is saying additional 1 million Nigerians will go down the poverty level.
Yeah, you see, what you're having right now in terms of economic crunch is worldwide. If I was reading a report about 2 days ago, I discovered that the poorer countries in this world today are going under far and faster. Simply because when you give loans to poorer countries, what you take for them in terms of collateral, in terms of a commission, in terms of so many things like that, are much higher than what you take from the developed world. And so you decide to impoverish the developing worlds more. And developing worlds, when the money that you are lending to them is their own money, if you look at it closely. Like for Nigeria now, we export crude oil, we don't even add any value in Nigeria here. Then we now buy back that same crude oil, the same amount of crude oil that we exported. We now buy back at a higher price. How do you sustain that kind of economy? How do you live under that kind of stress? So these are the kind of things that is happening. And when they say 1 million, it's still going to go on. I think it will be more than 1 million. Look at it closely. Because the World Bank will look at the indices of what they can see. There are so many things they cannot even see. Under G things that they cannot even see that is happening in this country. And so today now, if you go on the streets today, look at people's faces. Don't even conduct any survey. In terms of official survey. Just walk on the streets and look at people's faces. You see that there's hunger in the land. There's poverty in the land. The amount of people now that begin to beg for money to sustain themselves, money to eat. Someone will just call you, someone you have not known. Maybe just pick up your number somewhere and just call you and say, "Sir, I'm just calling you to let I need your assistance, sir." And what assistance? The next thing will tell you that for about 2 days now, my children and I, we have not been able to eat. And so I'm just soliciting that you find something, no matter how little. On a daily basis, I receive not less than about 3 or 4 of such cases. On a daily basis. And this might be funny. Because people see us on the screen, they believe you are well off. You are well to do.
And very, very rich.
Yes, very rich. That's it. And so when they meet you on the road, this is this man. They approach you with lots of demands. I start wondering, where do I get this kind of
request
to meet the requests? And that's how low we have gone. And it's going to go lower than that. We are looking at it. Because the government is not even addressing all these things we are talking about.
Larry, taking that from what Sen just said, inflation rate of 19.64%, the highest in 17 years, and that's just July, last month. Where do we go from here?
I have not done the research, but we can track when Niger started refining petrol. Now Nigeria is signing on the taking to get refined products from Niger Republic. We cannot put a refinery in place. So policymakers in Nigeria have made it more difficult to get anything done. And so when you have policy somersault, what type of result do you expect? This is supposed to be the time for our nation to be happy. Yes, there is a world meltdown because of gas, because of oil.
Right.
These are two things that we have. It's supposed to be to advantage. But since we cannot even manage it well, we have to take the oil out and pay some people to refine and bring back to us. I think you get the arithmetic. So if we could be relying on Niger Republic selling its excess to us, excess, they said they have more than they can use.
Niger Republic.
that they refine and they bring it to us in Nigeria. And at some point, some people are insinuating, look, even NNPC has an office there. Hello, policy makers have made all of this happen. One, we are consumptive. We are consuming what we cannot produce. If as a nation we have a policy that says, look, basically 70% of whatever
Sorry,
you
Larry,
consume.
it's not what we cannot produce. It's what we can produce and we are not producing.
Okay, yes,
That's what we should
but the point is, when we are consuming, we cannot produce. If it's a law, one single law, that whatever cannot be produced locally and sourced here should be out of our priority. You will discover, one, what we have, a lot of nations don't have it. Population. China had population was why Donald Trump, as a businessman, took his companies to China. Because they said you cannot bring your things, finished products here. You must come and manufacture here if you want to sell. And you know you have a population there. That's number one. Number two, their per capita income is low. Where America pays now about $15 per hour, in China it was like $1 per day. $15 per hour. If you work 8 hours, you multiply $15 by that 8 hours. So the same company that is doing the same product of the same quality in America, you can imagine the cost it will take to produce one copy. And if you go to China, you are paying 1 day for $1. So at the end of the day, they have now equated it up to mean like $15 per day instead of $15 per hour. It's still low, but by conversion rate, because they are not eating from outside China, it's working for them. America is owing China over $900 million because China did the right thing at the right time. We have population, the policies, we have the correct people who understand the policies to put Nigeria right, things will turn around for good for this nation.
I just spoke about I think you also said the economic calculation that 80% of consumables in Nigeria have been imported.
See, this is why you start laughing when you look at Nigeria. Larry mentioned China now. Almost 90% of cell phones that we use in the world today
Are from China.
In the past, we used to say chinko, that you don't buy chinko, it's not good. But today, look at what's happening. Look at the Asian tigers. As though as the economy is going down, but then look at what they are doing in their countries too. Trying to copy China to make certain goods. And they're shipping those goods, they're selling those goods, and they're making some money out of it. Now, as of today, look at India. India tries as much as possible to use only the automobiles that it can produce in the country. Yet, it's still finding it very difficult to make ends meet. But here in Nigeria, there are so many automobile production companies in Nigeria here. Yet, people are not, even National Assembly is not buying from them. Where do we go from there? So, if we start saying that we don't want to eat what we produce here, and we depend on foreign goods in Nigeria, we are not running a good economy. And more or less, we are just saying that we are just shooting ourselves in the leg. What Buhari did sometimes ago to say that let's Nigeria produce rice. Stop importing rice.
Rice revolution.
Rice revolution. But unfortunately, that rice revolution was not properly handled.
Okay.
Was not properly executed. When you want to do a rice pyramid and you start building rice pyramid on empty scaffold. So what kind of thing are we talking about? We are just deceiving ourselves. If you pursue these policies very well, you just mount these policies, you don't follow them up. No implementation. If you have good implementation for these policies, you are going to rise above where we are right now. But unfortunately, no, we won't. And one thing is this: a government that believes that you have to please the people all the time will not survive. There's certain things you have to no gain,
no pain.
No pains, no gain. If you have to go through certain things, you must have some pains too. But if people see that this pains we are going through is going to end up in good things for us, they are going to follow you. But when they know that you are just paying lip service to these gains, nobody will follow you. Nobody will believe in you. If you open one border and you close another border, nobody will believe in you. These are the kind of things that happen. Policy somersault. The moment you don't do things rightly, you're not likely to gain from it. Larry was talking about population. India's population, China's population, and they're trying to use their population very well.
To advantage.
To advantage. But here in Nigeria, no. No.
Larry, sometimes we talk of economic experts. I don't know economic experts in Nigeria again. Or those policies are defining solutions.
Okay, let's take it very quickly this way. Reward system of Nigeria. Additional is at the African Development Bank. And the whole world is saying he's doing well. He was a Greek minister here. He was the one that changed the approach of fertilizers. Some people are doing business with fertilizers in Nigeria. On your phone, you get your approval, you pay, you go and collect. It's not. That's what they did when he was minister of Agri. So we have competent people. When you put people who are competent in places where they can operate, they do well. But the reward system is, okay, this is a good party man, and we want to give him an appointment. And you're not looking at his capacity to deliver. And he fumbles. Now, let's be honest with ourselves. Yes, Obasanjo was military head of state before he became a civilian head of state. He was operating like a civilian, like a military leader when he was president. However, Obasanjo gave us Okonjo-Iweala. The world took her over as pattern, as a wonderful administrator. Gave us additional. African Development Bank is saying this is a wonderful one from Africa. Look, Nigeria as a nation, if we pursue just one, agriculture, will feed the entire West Africa and be getting money and still feed our population. However, the farms have been taken over by bandits and the nation is watching. We don't have a war to fight than protect those lands, let farmers go and produce food. The price will drop. If there is food everywhere, do you think people will just watch it and let this point? But people cannot go to farm, so definitely we must rely on food coming from other sources. And those people will be smiling to their banks, and we will be crying because our population will suffer. And we need to have food. So these are some of the little things that should be done. But you can't get to where you can produce the food. And we are so lucky. This is rainy season. Clear your compound, make it smooth and clean. Let it rain for 4 times. See what will happen. Things will germinate. You can't be in that kind of lucky environment and not be able to maximize it. That's what we're suffering. Look, if there is a cemented floor and there is a little crack on that cement, things will grow from it. It will sprout. So if that is the kind of place we are in, and we are still saying, if people are not buying food, every compound that has space, they can cook, produce what their families will be able to eat. You may not be able to produce rice, but with maize you can do 3 or 4 things. With some of these things you can turn it around. Yam, you can use it for elubo, you can use it for whatever. Cassava, you can use it for gari, for laughing or whatever. All of these things are there, but the leadership is mercantile in orientation, and so they are looking for the business of theirs. Some people it's a skit anyway, that look, okay, we want electricity, how can you get electricity? Is it not the politicians that are selling generators and bringing these things to Nigeria? Won't they say, is that not true? If it is like a policy, like there was a time, I think it was Yaradua that was governor, and the journalist went to interview him, and they took light. And the journalist was like, okay, it was very hot weather then. He now stopped waiting for the governor. Now said, you want to finish your assignment or you are still waiting for light to come? If they don't bring it, no light in this government house, we don't use generator. That is the kind of mindset that people should have. If I'm a governor and there is no light, and I know in my mind, out of heart, it would be wrong for me to be using generator when the public cannot. I will go to the NEPA official and tell them, okay, put this right. I need light in the government house. So these are some of the things there must be a 360-degree turnaround. A turnaround. If you can't do that turnaround, it will force itself on us. In Kenya just had an election. Okay. Kenya just had an election. It was unbelievable. A breakaway from the president. He broke away from the president and he became the president of that nation now. In a free and fair election. That's the kind of thing that the world is looking at. A complete turnaround. Our people deserve better. The Nigerians deserve better, and the leaders should understand that early.
Now, Dayo, let me just point something out again.
Yeah, I wanted to add. I want to add to any of your comments. Nigeria seems to be towards galloping inflation.
Galloping inflation, yes.
Gas,
Yes.
fuel,
Yes.
garments.
Food,
pharmaceutical
anything.
products.
You see, that one, when people talk about that, I always say that it's a worldwide thing, the inflation right now. It's a worldwide thing. But because Nigeria has been going under before, adding such injury now, that they are now going really, really under. That's why we're having this galloping inflation. Otherwise, we have been going along the same lines with other world countries in this inflationary trend. But something happened to me yesterday night. A friend of mine phoned from Georgia in the US, and we were talking about various topics. Then it got to a point that I just started laughing. Why did I laugh? He said, look, I went to a man in the house to treat that man. This one happens to be a medical person. And the man said, no. The man just came out to meet me on the road. I said, no, you cannot come to my house to come and treat me. Now I asked the question, why? I said, no. People have been treating you, will not treat me in my house. They treat me right beside the road here. Then this guy now said, no, I cannot treat you beside the road. I cannot be taking your BP beside the road, be administering your drugs on you beside the road, be giving you injection beside the road. No, I cannot do that. And I said, why did you do that? He said, that's one problem that they have in certain areas in the US. That this white supremacists, that what they do is that they don't want to believe in government. In their backyard, they grow whatever they want to eat in their orchard. They don't use government electricity. They believe in using generator, their own homes. So most of the things they do, they don't even believe in government. And I said, why don't they believe in government? He said, because the majority of these people who rely on government, the majority of these people who enjoy government benefits are blacks. And they want to stay out of it. And when I now start thinking of that, something strikes me. There was a time Obasanjo here said, Operation Feed the Nation. I said, behind your house, grow something. If only it's vegetables. That vegetable money will be out of what you spend. So, but we in Nigeria were so lazy. We're so lazy. You don't want to do it. Larry was talking about cementing the floor in your house. But go to Abuja now. Go and look at all the houses, most of the houses in Abuja, all the floors, I mean, not even inside, outside, in the garages. You have beautiful blocks using covering the floor. And so most of the places that we have used for Greek, we are busy sealing up.
What?
And this is some of the problems. The government is not able to make policies. If you make a policy that is strong against certain things, nobody can. You can't fight the government and win.
Can we go to the third topic? We're going to pray that the government is able to manage where we are. Land, I'm coming to you. Third topic. And I'll start this way. I'm quoting. The terrorist leader demanded the release of his pregnant wife. The government took her to the hospital and she gave birth to twins. It was shown that his wife and children were healthy and were handed over to his parents. During the night, the government sent a plane to pick them up. We expect that if they are giving this, they will release all the people that they are holding. But what happened next was that they said they needed money. So don't say the government doesn't have anything. That's the presidency on the Kaduna Abuja train abductees.
Okay.
You want to say the government was fooled or
No.
lamentation?
You think
from
things through. At that time that the whole thing was playing out, they actually kept saying the government knew what they wanted. It was not out of place to say, yes, we have an idea of what they're asking for. We do not negotiate with terrorists. However, for the sake of our people, we will look at their demands and see what we can do. But throughout, the government was denied. We cannot negotiate with the terrorists. And those ones kept saying, they know what we want. This is coming late in the day for the government to now be telling us what they did. After people had to be paying them. Do you think they will want to stop collecting the money? They asked you, in addition to that, give us money. At the end of the day, they went to Kuje prison to free their people. In a lot of quarters, it is believed it's part of the concession by government, because There were no security resistance when they went to do that operation. You see, in our society today, there are some things that we do not just play with. America, I think we discussed it here some time ago. The value of an American life is put at between $1 million to $10 million. One, an American went to Russia for sports and was caught with was caught with some drugs that is forbidden there. Do you know what? America was ready to trade off. They said they don't. They saw it as a terrorist, and if they leave an American to suffer in Russia. So they said, "What do you want? We want our person back. We'll give you the worst criminal we have in America to go back to you. The worst Russia criminal that we have with us. We want to trade. Give us this person. We'll give you your person back." That goes to show the value they attach to the lives of their people. All these people were there for over 80, 90 days, 100 days. And they had to be parting with as much as 100 million naira per person. And government is saying they don't want to give money. What have we put the families of such people through? For the presidency, when they say presidency, it's just by 3-4 people, Zarafemi additional, Garba or whatever, that will be talking. And we begin to wonder, what has Mr. President himself said on this matter? Because if terrorists are telling you these are the things they want, and you made us believe we cannot negotiate with terrorists, and you are not going there to use brute force to free your people.
The president said because of collateral
Oh
damage.
my God, collateral my food.
Have they not killed people? They killed people the day they went to do that operation.
No, we're talking of those who are held hostage.
That's
They
what
might
we're
be-
saying.
They might be killed.
That's what I'm saying.
Now, I mean, let's talk about this. Yes, America have gone for sting operations to free hostages in times past. Are they saying they don't have intelligence network
Even
to
Nigeria.
outdo the ragtag? It's ragtag. Those guys are not really trained like our military is trained, and the military has intelligence to actually cover and do some things there. They if you ask, okay, for instance, the president met with families of the victims. It is not the victims themselves. They have to go and reprocess because they have seen hell. They kill with ignominy. They dump human bodies anyhow. So people who have done that are the ones you are trying to talk about negotiating with. They can't be reasonable. And so for you to say you want to reason with them, come let us let's think together. You can't think together with them. They succeeded in doing what they wanted to do.
Your last take now. You see that Larry spoke of negotiation. You want to see the statement sometimes made by the governor of Kaduna State as a confirmation that security agencies they know where these people are.
Look, we don't have to even wait for Governor of Kaduna State to tell us.
No, initially it's as if
We all know that they know. We all know that they know. Now, somebody who cannot speak Yoruba, who kidnapped somebody in the West here, now negotiating with the families in Yoruba, who is going between? Who is doing that? We all know. Look, when Gumi went to the bandits to talk with them and brought back a tapes of the recordings of what he did there, are we saying that Gumi doesn't know where they are? The governor of Borno State, at a point in time, said he was ready.
Professor Zulum.
He said he was ready to go to Baga. He was telling the police officer, the military men there, that he was ready to go to Baga. If you cannot go, I will go there. And I'm telling you that you people should take over Baga for us. Because they know where these people are. And when they come to these villages, all the villagers in those areas, they know where all these bandits are. But they dare not speak because government is not protecting them. So they have to just keep on paying ransom to those people. And if you are talking about you don't want collateral damage, you will never overcome banditry. You will never overcome Boko Haram. Except we are ready to say, okay, let's go all out. And it won't take us more than a week to run them out if you want to. These military boys are ready. But their lives are just being wasted.
Larry, you're sick.
Yes, if El Rufai has said that those guys are in control in some parts of Kaduna State. Goes to tell us a lot.
Forming the parallel government.
Yes, they collect tax, and you pay tax to those who are in charge. So in those places they are in charge, and for El-Rufai to have said the military knows where they are. It's not all the time they are surrounded by victims that might be collateral damage. But you see, like I said, sting operation is you show professionalism in such. You enter, you come out, and you free up. If it is just one person that America wants to free, they will take 2-3 months to plan, and they will bring that person.
Well, I mean, time is against us. Sir, time is against us.
Well, time is always against us. So you can't say all at a sitting. So I want to thank you for bringing me here, and I want to thank God for allowing me the health to be here today.
Larry.
Thanks for having me. It's a nice time today again in the newsroom. We'll do
Until tomorrow, when we hope to be back in the newsroom by the spirit grace of God. My name is Olada Olanipo. Bye-bye.
Mondays through Fridays, 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. in the newsroom. You can't afford to miss it.
Chief Obafemi Awolowo, a founding father of Nigerian nationalism,